Hi, I'm David Gonzalez, and today I want to show you the new features that you can find in Mistika VR 8.8.2, which has just been released. All these features have been added to Mistika VR thanks to the feedback that we had got from the users on the last survey, and I hope you enjoy them. So we're gonna start by loading one shot, and I'm gonna show you all these features in a real-life situation. So just drag 4 cameras from the set cam provided to us by Fred BM. And one of the first things that we can see is that we now get resolution information alongside the name of the camera, which is really handy for when we are choosing the right preset for the right resolution. And I know we already have in Mistika a setcam preset, but for the purpose of the demonstration of the new features, I'm gonna go through PTGUI. So just click on Stitch and External Stitch. And if you remember from previous tutorials, I always told you to force PTGUI to work on full frame fisheye. We don't need to do that anymore. We can work on circular fisheye without any problems. We just need to go and crop. I'm not gonna show you too much how to work on this because we already have tutorials for PTGUI, but we just need to adjust the crop roughly to where the lens is, and now we can go and align the images. Straight away we get an acceptable stitch, and I'm just gonna save it and load it into Mistika VR. So go and save it on the same folder, name as circular fisheye. I can hide this image now and go back to that folder. Just by dropping it in, we get the same result without having to force it to full frame fisheye, which will help the people avoid any confusion or anything. We also added new features where the team was really focusing to improving the audio sync technology. So apart from refining the algorithm and make it more accurate, the team also added this maximum offset parameter. It limits the amount of frames that Mistika can slide a shot to match the other. So if you know you fired up the cameras in a distance of 5 seconds, you can limit it to 150, or 10 seconds will be 300. Now that we are working at 30 frames per second, this will make the audio sync much more accurate. Another thing that will help you on your workflows is that now the color matching is done in between the range of the in and out points. So there are two different modes. If I'm before the in mark, when I click on match color in time, it will jump to the in mark and continue from that point. Or if I just want to continue from wherever I'm in between the marks, I can click in match color in time, and it will run from this point until the out point. And also another request that we had on the survey, and this was a really important request from our users, was to be able to navigate straight to the in point or out point. So with right click we can just go to the mark in or the mark out, or we can use the shortcuts for that, so Ctrl-Shift-I or Ctrl-Shift-O. Jump into the next feature. This was, I think, the most important one or the most requested one from our users, both in the Mistika VR forums in Facebook and through the survey. It was the ability to modify the feather of the edge points. I believe edge points are one of the greatest tools of Mistika VR, but the people was asking us for a bit more control on them, so you can now add an edge point. Let's put some more feather in the overall stitch. This is how an edge point worked before. With shift you could change its size, but the feather was always locked to half the feather of the stitch. We need to have in mind that the feather of the edge points is still relative to the overall feather. So what that means, I can now change it with Control and Shift. If I drag, I'm changing just the feather. Let me push it a bit more. So I'm just changing the feather of the edge point itself. But what I mean with being relative with the main stitch feather is that if I now adjust the feather, I will also adjust the feather of the edge point. Okay, some other tool, a really nice tool that the team has added is the ability to import logos or images with alpha and overlay them over the image. So for that we just need to go again to where the logo is, which is in here, and drag it in. Whenever we drag it in, it will appear as a new camera, but we can change that by selecting it and going to the mode. I don't want it to be a camera, I want to be an overlay, and now I can change its size with the focal length manipulator. If I wanted to cover the tripod, I can just go to -90 pitch, and there it is. And this is not all. We also added new render modes. The most requested ones were more image sequence modes, like we had before DPXs, and you can do now TIFFs, both in 8-bit and 16-bit, and you can do JPEGs and PNG sequences. And as you know, Mistika VR is based on a library of presets for the known cameras. We keep getting new cameras from our customers. So in this case we added presets for the BoxFix 360, both in a dry and a wet mode, so for when you are underwater or when you are above water. We also added the Myosphere 360, the 360 Rise, both the Pro 10 and the Pro 7 version 2, also the 360 Rise Abyss and the Color Abyss, and the Kandao Obsidian S. So this is a quick run through all the new features that you're gonna find in 8.8.2. If you are already a customer of Mistika VR, this update is free for all the customers as usual. Just go to your download site in the SGO website and you can get the new installer. I hope you like the video and enjoy Mistika VR.